I enjoyed my time here in the wonderful country of France, but sadly, it's time to head back home to the States on two separate flights in two separate airlines. This video will be covering the first of two flights back home, but before we continue with the trip report, I'd like to give you guys a brief speech about Air France's fleet. Okay, so Air France has got four wide-body families in their fleet: the Boeing 777, Boeing 787 Dreamliner, Airbus A330, and Airbus A350. But besides those four wide bodies doing their own thing on medium long haul to long haul routes with lie flat seats up in business, the French flag carrier has got a decently sized fleet of A320 family aircraft, A319s, A320s, A321s, etc. And today we'll be flying on one of those baby Airbuses, oh how cute, for an hour and a half from Nice Côte d'Azur to Paris Charles de Gaulle. Today's journey started at Nice Côte d'Azur International Airport here in Terminal 2, where I checked in for my flight. Air France's business class passengers, even on domestic or regional flights, are entitled to use the Sky Priority check-in lane and are given Sky Priority boarding. The Sky Priority check-in lane is usually never crowded, but even the check-in lines for economy class today were not that crowded this morning. Security was pretty fast, and once you find yourself airside, you will find yourself in the duty-free area with the departures board. As you can see, the duty-free area here at NCE is packed with all sorts of shops, and it's past the duty-free area where you will find the Infinity Lounge, which is the main lounge at Nice Côte d'Azur Airport. Air France's business class passengers flying out of Nice Côte d'Azur International Airport are invited to use the Salon VIP Infinity Lounge, which is accessible to business class passengers flying on Air France and other airlines out of Nice. This is also a priority pass lounge, and the terminal itself, as you can see, does offer some pretty incredible views. But anyways, let's go upstairs and check out the Infinity Lounge, which is not a great lounge, but it does feel like a space in which you would want to spend a decent amount of time in. The Salon VIP Infinity Lounge here at Nice Côte d'Azur International Airport in itself is actually not the best lounge I've been to, but it actually wasn't that bad at all. You'll find a self-serve bar with alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. The food options themselves are not that impressive, but also not bad. And then, of course, you'll find plenty of comfortable seating throughout the lounge. The lounge itself here in Nice is actually one of the larger Priority Pass lounges I've been to. You will find a pretty decent food spread, also some water as well. As you can see, you will find a selection of fruit available in the lounge as well. We have a really nice area over here with some good seating options. As you can see, you will also find a really nice view of the airport to your left, as you can see, with these really cool swing kind of egg chairs. As you can see, definitely a really nice spot to hang out in the lounge. Large windows. Definitely not a great view of the tarmac, though I wish the lounge did offer views of the apron, but you will get a pretty good view of the airport, as you can see. And moving on, you'll find some more seating down there, over here. Still some nice areas, lots of comfortable chairs. You'll also find a pool area. There's even an area where you can get some work done, as well as a bathroom. You will find a couple of computers at the work area, so it's good for getting business work done or any kind of work that might involve a computer. You'll also find a TV screen displaying some news, and that's about it. The bathrooms you'll find in the lounge are actually quite basic. As you can see, pretty boring, old, and uninspiring bathrooms. We just have a sole sink, hand dryer. The toilets and the urinals are quite basic altogether. Definitely doesn't really feel that modern or fresh. I feel that the other bathrooms I've seen in airport lounges are definitely a lot nicer than this. And of course, the Ahmedabad lounge, this bathroom's better than that one. All of the food options you find on offer in the lounge are going to be free, though there's really no free a la carte area, and the buffet selection itself is quite limited. I highly recommend this lemon cake. It is on point, and we also have a pretty decent selection of breads, beverages. I also recommend trying the flavored water, which is pretty good. and refreshing. But besides that, not really that many good food options. Other than like the fruits and stuff, which pretty much taste the same everywhere, and you will find some coffee and teas. The lounge itself actually offered a pretty decent view of our aircraft arriving in from Paris Charles de Gaulle as flight Air France 7302, which will be operated by an Airbus A321 headed back out there as flight AF 7303. At the time of year when I was taking this flight, it seemed that this flight was really delayed, and today's flight ended up departing almost an hour behind schedule, which is definitely not that impressive. It took a while for boarding to commence, and now it's the scheduled business class boarding time. Air France's A320 family aircraft do feature the traditional European business class, which does have the middle seat blocked to allow for extra space, and this is the exact same configuration as economy. These seats barely felt like business class when in the air, and domestic first class seats in the US are a lot more spacious and comfortable. The legroom on this aircraft is not really that generous. It wasn't really a problem for me, but if I were just to be a few inches taller, it wouldn't really be that generous. And also the fact that there is no adjustable headrest with this business class seat is not really that impressive. The tray table is kind of small, and there's no seatback IFE, so I have been in a lot of economy class seats more comfortable than this. The seat itself is actually pretty basic. There's no seatback IFE on this A321. You will find a nice little small cup holder tucked away at the side. Over there, beneath that, we have the tray table, which slides out towards you. Pretty small, as you can see, definitely a lot smaller than many tray tables I've seen in economy class. I've actually been in many economy class seats that are a lot more comfortable than this. For example, Delta Comfort Plus on the A321. The legroom is kind of generous for me, but maybe if I were a few inches taller, it wouldn't really be that generous. We do have the seatback pocket, which is good for stowing any items, such as literature. The middle seat on this aircraft is blocked to allow for more space, so we can stow things under that seat in addition to stowing them under the seat in front of you. We have 2 USB ports, which is pretty nice. As you can see, the seatback pocket does house the A321 safety card, which is the in-flight literature, and to the side we do have the windows. In addition to the main seat components, we do have a personal air vent, a reading light, and a flight attendant call button. There was no proper pre-departure beverage service on this flight. However, flight attendants did distribute water prior to pushback, and I thought this was a nice touch.
Les démonstrations de sécurité vont commencer. Veuillez retirer vos écouteurs. Merci de respecter l'ensemble des consignes écrites et lumineuses ainsi que les instructions de l'équipage. Durant le roulage, le décollage et l'atterrissage, vos bagages à main doivent être rangés dans les coffres et les accessoires sous les sièges devant vous. Réglez vos appareils électroniques en mode avion ou éteignez-les. Seuls le Bluetooth et le Wi-Fi peuvent être activés. En cas de fumée, de dégagement de chaleur, de chute ou de perte d'un appareil électronique, nous vous demandons de prévenir l'équipage. Les prises de courant du fauteuil ne doivent pas être utilisées durant le roulage, le décollage, l'approche et l'atterrissage ou sur demande de l'équipage. Gardez toujours un œil sur vos appareils électroniques pendant leur chargement. Veuillez redresser le dossier de votre fauteuil, ranger votre tablette, le porte-gobelet et ouvrir tous les cache-hublots. Les membres d'équipage portant un insigne rouge sont chargés de votre sécurité. En cas d'évacuation, des panneaux lumineux vous permettent de localiser les issues de secours. Repérez le panneau le plus proche de votre siège, il peut se trouver derrière vous. Les issues de secours sont situées de chaque côté de la cabine, à l'avant, au centre, à l'arrière. Pour évacuer l'avion, suivez le marquage lumineux, les instructions de l'équipage et laissez tous vos bagages. Fasten and release as shown. En cas de dépressurisation, un masque à oxygène tombera automatiquement à votre portée. Tirez sur le masque pour libérer l'oxygène. In cabin pressure, the oxygen mask will automatically drop down in front of you. Pull the mask to start the flow of oxygen. Retirez votre masque de protection, puis appliquez le masque à oxygène sur votre visage. Take off your face mask and then place the oxygen mask over your nose and mouth. Une fois votre masque ajusté, il vous sera possible d'aider d'autres personnes. Make sure your white mask is well adjusted before helping others. Ouvrez votre gilet en tirant sur la poignée rouge. When you are outside the aircraft, inflate your life jacket by pulling down on the window. Devant vous, please wet the safety card in front of you.
I'm currently here in the business class lavatory on the Air France A321. Thought I might show you guys around. Starting off, we have this pretty large mirror. It is kind of claustrophobic in here, definitely really tight for a business class lavatory. The lavatory on Qatar's A320 was definitely more spacious than this actually. Definitely a kind of boring layout, not much space for your legs. As you can see, not much space for my head even if I were a little taller. But as you can see, it's pretty basic. In addition to the large mirror, you'll also find a sink in here. We have the soap, and then we have the toilet. Definitely not as impressive as the lavatory on the 777, which was stocked with Clarence amenities, but it is what it is. Air France does offer streaming entertainment with a pretty good selection of movies and TV shows. It's a similar selection to what you'll find from my review on the Boeing 777. However, I wasn't able to connect to it, so I just enjoyed a couple documentaries on my iPad. However, it is quite impressive to see that Air France does offer Wi-Fi in business class on these short flights. Service on this 45 to 50-minute flight was actually really impressive, and even though my beverage of choice, which was sparkling water, was served in a plastic cup, a lot of airlines won't do service on flights of this length, so definitely 5 stars to Air France. In terms of snacks, I was given a tomato and basil cracker, which was very impressive and nice, and the dark chocolate that Air France provided was actually really good, and I love the way it was packaged with French flags. Well, guys, after a pretty fast 45 to 50-minute flight with Air France in business class from Nice to Paris, I think it's time for our concluding thoughts, starting off with the ground experience and lounge at Nice Côte d'Azur International Airport. The lounge itself was pretty basic, and it does earn a possible 3 stars out of a possible 5 stars. Pretty decent food options. Definitely not the most impressive lounge I've been to, but you will find a decent amount of comfortable seating. The bathrooms are not that inspiring, but at least they were clean when I was there, and the staff seemed to be pretty friendly and happy with my filming. The seat on this flight, it easily earns 1.5 out of a possible 5 stars. I mean, it is a little comfortable for a 45 to 50-minute flight. However, Air France does use these seats on longer 3 to 4 hour flights where the seat itself is not that ideal, and business class seat that is more expensive than economy class. In terms of the seat, this experience is not really worth it. However, I really did like the service and the fact that you're provided with a lounge in European business class, which even U.S. airlines don't do with their domestic first class. But back to Air France's European business class for a sec. The seat itself, tray table is kind of small. Even some economy class seats I've been in, like Delta's Comfort Plus and United's Max 8 economy class seats, are definitely a lot more comfortable than this, as well as American's standard economy seat on the A321 Neo. So the seat earns 1.5 out of a possible 5 stars, and also the fact that the middle seat is blocked to allow for more space is kind of impressive, so we'll have to give you that, so just leave it at 1.5 out of possible 5 stars. Food on this flight earns 5 stars. Now, this is definitely not 5-star business class food for a long international flight. However, on many 45 to 50-minute flights, airlines won't even offer any service, and their flight attendants are just seated for the entire flight. And I'm really happy that Air France did make an effort to offer service on this flight. And the crackers with tomato and basil were actually very tasty, and they seemed kind of like a chef-inspired snack, actually. And the cabin crew on this flight were very friendly, so service does earn 3.5 to 4 out of a possible 5 stars, because the flight attendants on this flight were very friendly, kind. They weren't really that engaging. I'm sure they would have been more engaging if it were a longer flight. But anyways, the in-flight entertainment, which was actually pretty impressive. I mean, Air France does have a great selection of IFE, and the fact that they offer Wi-Fi is impressive. However, there wasn't really much time to experience it on this flight, so I just watched a documentary or two on this flight from my iPad. So the IFE does earn 3 out of a possible 5 stars. Maybe if Air France had a seatback entertainment screen on this aircraft, because they use this for 3 and 4 hour flights as well, that would definitely be a bit more impressive. And our last category are the amenities. In terms of amenities on this short flight, not much was provided. However, the lavatory is really tight, and if I were a bit taller, I would definitely have a struggle using it. Including the overall Air France A321 business class experience, I'm going to have to give this flight a possible 5.6 out of 10 stars.
Dernier virage.
Bye guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this trip report of Air France's A321 business class from Nice to Paris, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.